Hi, everybody. I'm here with Joel, and today we talked about the nine money rules. We talked about the first rule last week. So today we're going to talk about the second rule, which is Joel, go ahead.
Trust your intuition.
Yes.
And I will tell you, as a former hedge fund manager, if I didn't trust my intuition, I either lost money or made less money. So you might be asking, Elle, and those of you who are watching, so how do you develop your intuition? And I say you can develop your intuition just like any other muscle. Maybe you have a big bicep, you want to make it bigger, so you go to the gym and you do some bicep curls. So you're making hundreds of decisions every day. Why not use your intuition on even a few of them? For example, maybe you're in Manhattan, not far from where I am, and the express train is coming in 2 minutes, but the local is already sitting there. What do? Local, express, express, local. Trust your intuition, not your intellect. Trust your intuition. So every Thursday morning, I used to take my daughters to school, and we had options. We could take the local roads, we could take the highway, or we could hitchhike. Just kidding. So generally, my intuition would tell me to take the highway. But there was one particular morning, the highway was all backed up with traffic. And my intuition was still telling me to take the highway. But I thought, wait a second, that doesn't make sense. So I go local. And immediately my stomach's in knots. I see the sirens, I hear the flashing lights. And because I didn't trust my intuition, it cost me a $150 speeding ticket.
Oh.
And to this day, my daughters tease me and call me Speedy Pants.
It's true. I mean, I ask myself questions every morning. I go for a hike every morning. So this morning, it's so funny that you're saying that. This morning, I said, "Oh no, I don't want to go. I have to do this." And by the time that I have my 10 o'clock, it's not gonna, I don't have enough time. And then I did put stuff to go run an errand instead of going for a walk, and I changed my mind. I asked myself, "Is which one is best for you today?" And it was interesting. All of a sudden, I'm wearing my shoes, I'm tennis shoes, my walking shoes, and I went out, and actually, it felt so much better just because I asked myself that question: which one is best for you today?
Yes, that's really important to. You can do that throughout the day. I call it segment intending.
Mm.
So you can and make the intention. Okay, I have a decision to make. Ask yourself the question is one way to develop your intuition. Another way is to do the sway test. You stand up and you ask yourself a grounding question and see which way you sway, front or back. So I usually ask myself the question, do I love my daughters, Lauren and Morgan? I sway forward, that's yes. And then I ask myself a question I know the answer is no to, like, do I love mushrooms? And I sway back, that's no. And then I ask myself the question I want to get the answer to. Should I go for a hike or should I do a chore? And see which ways, or should I go for a hike? And then if it says yes, you sway forward. So I'll give you an example in my life related to investing. It was early 2008, and I was working at Citi as a hedge fund manager. And I had done the research, and we knew that this company, American International Group, AIG, was overvalued. So we were betting that it was going to go down. And that was in March of 2008. So a couple of months later, we've made a lot of money on it, and they just announced that they were reporting their earnings, and my analyst came to me and he said, Joel, it looks like they're going up. And my intuition was saying, don't touch it, don't touch it. It's going lower. You got to make more money. But my intellect agreed with the analyst and I got out. 2 days later, it's down 10%.
Wow.
Annualized, that's 10,000% in a year. And my intuition is still screaming at me, it's going lower. So I ignored my intellect. I ignored my analyst. We got back in. 4 months later, we've made 40% on our money. That's 160% annualized
Wow.
by trusting my intuition.
Yeah.
So I would generally ask myself throughout the day when I was managing large amounts of money, what am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with that? I had done the research on the stocks, but sometimes my intuition was saying get out or add more. And if I, again, like I said at the beginning, if I didn't listen, what is it saying? Then I generally made less money. And in the beginning, I will tell you, a woman in my mastermind group, she told me just start. Like when I was managing my own hedge fund, it was really so much harder to actually trust my intuition because people had given me money to manage, and I felt like I have to analyze the company. I have to make decisions based on the facts. And every time I didn't trust my intuition, I made less money. Or what I started to do with what my mastermind group member said was start with a small amount. You're managing many, many millions of dollars. So maybe start with $10,000 and just trust your intuition and test it. So I started out with doing 3 a week, tiny amounts, and seeing how much money I was making by trusting my intuition. And then I got a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. And by the end of the time that I had my own hedge fund, I had used my intuition to to create the largest position in the portfolio. And I was doing that. And in January of 2014, and in August of 2014, just 7 months later, our largest position got acquired and we made 40% in one day. And that was by trusting my intuition. So it's really important. I would test your intuition, try it out with small positions, with small investments. And what I recommend doing is writing down for each investment you currently own or one you're thinking about, what's your intuition saying on a level from 1 to 10. One is your intuition is not like really strong, and 10 is it's telling you go all in. It's gonna work. It's gonna work.
Yeah.
And check yourself on each position you already have or one you're thinking about, because your intuition is your higher self giving you advice. And like I said, for me, it's worked really well. Now, we talked about belief last week. I think they go hand in hand. Intuition will give you stronger belief. So also write down what your belief level is in each investment from 1 to 10, where 10 is absolute faith. I know I'm going to make money. And 1 is massive doubt. There's no way I'm going to make money. So write down both, and it will give you more confidence and more likely, I believe, that you'll be making money in your investments.
So basically, Joel, you're saying that in our bodies, we know exactly what our next step is. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so this is, I work with my clients through laser coaching, and I tell them at the beginning, where are you and where you want to be? And during that time together, the idea what the next step is for them comes from them. It's interesting how we already know we have that intelligence inside of us in our heart. That's what our next step is. I mean, you're talking about investing, talking about any kind of step in life. And as soon as I take them to that journey and I hold their hand, I mean, not physically, but in that space, they come up with that next step. And then the next part of it is that commitment.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's
Yes.
basically kind of same kind of route to get to the to that. So it just for everybody to know who's listening that we do have all the answers inside of us. Just have to trust it. You have to really work at it, and step by step, as Joel was saying, to just small amounts to look and see if it's going to work for with that intuition, with that next step in life, and just as long as you trust yourself in that your intuition, it will open up and you become more and more in tuned with what's the next step is for you. So amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the more, like I said, the more you use it, the more you'll feel more comfortable using it and you'll get more confidence using it. And then it'll work even better.
Yeah.
So like I would say, start tomorrow with small decisions, baby steps, and then continue to do it more and more, and ultimately use it for your investments, use it for money decisions. You can use it for, thinking about buying a house and check in with yourself. Is this the right house to be purchasing if you're going house hunting? Or if you're buying a car, or what's the next vacation? Let's use my intuition to decide what's the next place to go to. What
Yeah.
really aligns with my inner heart.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as you said about a house, I usually, whenever I have bought a house, I walk in and I said, "This is it," and just that energy, and they asked me, "Oh, this is not has this or that," and I said, let me just be here for a few minutes. I'm going to tell you if this is house for me or not. And
Absolutely.
it just, I guess, I have intuitively get myself to that space so that I'm comfortable with my decision.
Right.
And I think that the listeners will get to that space as far as they would start today or tomorrow, whenever they want to start. And they will get to that space by practicing on a daily basis or weekly basis uh, with different steps that they want to make. And then it will be interesting to say, yes, please let us know when you decide to use your intuition. We're going to come back next week for the third rule. So let us know, make a comment, and if you have done it, and if there, what's the outcome. If you have any questions, Joel's information is in the description. You can reach out to him. He's offering half an hour complimentary uh,
Green
consultation.
prosperity coaching. Yep.
Yeah. And same thing with me. If you have any questions, I also offer a 30-minute complimentary interaction. So ask us any questions that you have, and be happy to see you next week. Thank you, Joel, for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Ellie. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you.